Good morning and welcome to Good morning. It's good to see you got the memo about Harry Potter dressing up. Go Gryffindor or Glyndwr. So welcome to Wrexham Glyndwr University. Please note during this ceremony, if the fire alarm were to sound in this hall, you will be invited to remain seated until a brief investigation is carried out to determine if there is an incident. The fire alarm will sound during this investigation period. If an evacuation is required, you will be instructed to do so by the relevant marshals. Please follow the instructions given to you at all times. In the event of an evacuation being required, please note the fire exits in this main hall. Wheelchair users and others with mobility issues, please note the fire exit for you to use would be the doors nearest to the stage on your left or any doors on the right. For guests sitting in the balcony of this hall, your fire exits are through main entrance door into the balcony or through the fire exit door at the front of the balcony seating on your right-hand side. For guests sitting in the Nick Whitehead Theatre, your fire exits are through main entrance door into the theatre or through the fire exit door at the front of the theatre to your left-hand side. In the event of an emergency, marshals will direct you to your nearest fire exit and to the relevant fire assembly points. The ceremony itself will start when the band will play the processional music and the procession will enter the hall. At this point, the Chief Marshal will ask you all to stand. Please remain standing until the procession party is on the stage and when the Chief Marshal will advise you to sit. During the ceremony, the use of mobile phones is strictly prohibited, so please ensure all mobile phones are switched off or silent. We ask you all to refrain from talking throughout the ceremony. If you have any children in attendance and they become restless, we respectfully request that you take them out of the hall. The ceremony will last approximately an hour to an hour and a half, and we ask that you remain seated as far as possible until the end of the ceremony to minimise disruption or disturbance for others. Please note photographs can be taken during the ceremony, but we kindly ask that you do not obstruct the view of any other guests or the aisles. At the end of the ceremony, the band will play again, and you will be requested to stand while the procession leaves the hall. We would ask the graduates to join the procession as it leaves the hall, followed by their guests, and make your way to the Edward Llwyd Centre, where refreshments will be available. Please do not leave the hall until directed to do so by the marshals to allow the procession time to clear the hall. We would ask that you arrange to meet graduates in the Edward Llwyd Centre after the ceremony and not in the main reception. We are delighted to be able to welcome you to the university today. We hope you enjoy the ceremony and your day. Thank you.
o bore da a croeso i Brifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam ac i seremoni raddio y Brifysgol. Y gyntaf o 5 seremoni i'w chynnal dros 3 diwrnod. Welcome to Wrexham Glyndwr University and to the university's graduation ceremony, the first of 5 ceremonies to be held over 3 days. Y mae 2 ran i'r seremoni sy'n cael ei alw yn gynulliad y Brifysgol. Yn rhan gyntaf y cynulliad, byddwn yn derbyn yn gymrodorion anrhydeddus, unigolion a ystyrir yn deilwng o'r anrhydedd yma. Yn ail hanner y seremoni, byddwn yn cyflwyno tystysgrifau, diplomau a graddau. There are 2 parts to the ceremony, known as a congregation of the university. In the first part, we will receive as honorary fellows individuals that have been judged worthy of this honour. In the second half of the ceremony, we will be presenting certificates, diplomas and degrees. Wel, mae nawr yn rhoi pleser mawr i mi wahodd Maxine Penlington, cadeirydd bwrdd y Llywodraethwyr, i agor y seremoni y bore yma. It gives me great pleasure to invite Maxine Penlington, the Chair of the Board of Governors of Glyndwr University, to open the ceremony.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, graduands, bore da, good morning. I preside over this ceremony on behalf of our Chancellor, Trevor Jones, who for health reasons is sadly unable to be with us today. He nevertheless sends his very warmest wishes and congratulations to all of our graduands and their guests. And of course, we wish him a very speedy recovery to full health. For many of you, today's ceremony is the official end of your studies at Wrexham Glyndwr University and is marked by these formal proceedings known as a congregation, followed by informal celebrations afterwards in the Edward Llwyd Centre. The reason for this congregation is so that degrees can be conferred, honorary fellowships awarded, and other business which concerns this university be transacted. Ac felly gan yr awdurdod a roddwyd I mi gan y Brifysgol, mae'n bleser mawr genifagor y cynulliad hwn o Brifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam ac I ofyn I broclamasiwn y Brifysgol gael ei darllen. And so, by the authority given to me by the university, it gives me great pleasure to open this congregation of Wrexham Glyndwr University and to ask that the university proclamation be read.
Hyder trwy addysg. Bydded hysbys I aelodau'r Brifysgol ac I bawb sydd yn bresennol. Y cynhelir heddiw ar y dyddiad hwn, dydd Mercher, yr 11 o Hydref 2018, yn Rhef Wrecsam, gynulliad awdurdodedig o Brifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam a Phrifysgol Cymru, I dderbyn yn gymrodorion anrhydeddus, unigolion teilwng, sydd trwy ei gweithredoedd wedi profi ei hunain yn deilwng o barch yn y gymdeithas academaidd. Derbynir i'w gwobrau hefyd unigolion sydd trwy efrydiaeth yn y Brifysgol a thrwy ddisg, medr a dyfalbarhad wedi teilyngu'r cyfryw raddau yn unol ag ordeiniadau'r brifysgol. Gyda phob gweddi a dymuniad, ar iddynt fwynhau iechyd a hir hoedl i wasanaethu ei hoes a'i cenedl dan fendith y nef. Yna, dy oleuni a gyfyd mewn tywyllwch, ath dywyllwch a fydd fel hanner dydd. A rhai a fyddant ohono ti a adeiladant yr hen ddiffeithleoedd. Y mae digonedd o air ac o emau, ond geiriau deallus yw'r trysor gwerthfawrocaf. Hyder trwy addysg. Confidence through education. Be it known to members of the university and to all here present that an authorised congregation of Wrexham Glyndwr University and the University of Wales is being held here in the town of Wrexham this day, Wednesday, 31st of October 2018, to receive as honorary fellows worthy persons who through their actions and deeds have shown themselves to be worthy of the respect of the academic community. In addition, those who have, through study at the university and through learning, ability and perseverance, been deemed worthy of university awards in accordance with the ordinances of the university will be admitted to their appropriate degrees, in the hope that they may be given health and long life to serve their generation and their country under the blessing of heaven. Then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Mae Owain Glyndwr wedi ein hysbrydoli ni dros y canrifoedd. Tra roedd Shakespeare yn disgrifio'r dyn, roedd y bardd Cymraeg, Iolo Goch, yn disgrifio ei lys. Gorau Cymro, tro trylew bia'r wlad. Lyn, bywer lew, gŵr, meingryf. Gorau mangre, a ffiau'r llys, hoff yw'r lle. The spirit of Glyndwr has inspired generations. The Welsh poet Iolo Goch described his court, while Shakespeare spoke of the man. He is a worthy gentleman, exceedingly well read and profited in strange concealments, valiant as a lion and wondrous affable, and as bountiful as mines of India. Wel, mae nawr yn bleser gen I alw ar Mark Caldecott I gyflwyno Stephen Parry am gymrodoriaeth anrhydeddus. It now gives me pleasure to call upon Mark Caldecott to present Stephen Parry for an honorary fellowship.
ganed a macwyd yr entrepreneur, yr actor a'r diddanwr Stephen Parry ym Mhentref Rhos Lannych Rhugog, ac mae ganddo dros 35 mlynedd o brofiad yn y diwydiannau creadigol. Mae'n gweithio fel cynhyrchydd creadigol, fel cyflwynydd, yn ymgynghorydd ac yn fentor trwy'r gyfrwng y Gymraeg a'r Saesneg. Sefydlodd Mr Producer yn 2001 ac mae wedi cynhyrchu rhai o digwyddiadau byw am Lycaf Cymru, fel penwythnos agoriadol canolfa Millennium ar gyfer BBC Cymru, cyngerdd agoriadol Cwpan Rider Croeso i Gymru, yn Stadiwm Millennium ar gyfer Sky One a Sky Arts, a gala nodi hanner canrif ers Trychineb Aberfan yng nghanolfa Millennium Cymru, yn cynnwys Michael Sheen, Bryn Terfel a Sian Phillips. Fel actor, mae wedi syrenu fel Marius yn Les Miserables yn y West End yn Llundain, yn ogystal ag mewn rolau teledu nodedig fel Christopher Duncan yn Brookside ar Sianel 4. Cyrhaeddodd Stephen y penawdau ar newyddion pan oedd ei gymeriad yn Brookside, Christopher Duncan yn rhan o'r cusan hoyw gyntaf i'w ddarlledu ar dyledu Brydain. Yn y gorffennol, mae ei waith a'i gefnogaeth i'r gymuned LGBT wedi ennill lle iddo ar rhestr binc fel un o'r pobl LGBT fwyaf dylanwadol yng Nghymru. Mae hefyd yn gyflwynydd sioe ornest ac yn gyflwynydd sioe siarad ac yn feistr seremoniau ar gyfer digwyddiadau corffolaethol, cyngherddau a chynadleddau. Mae Stephen hefyd yn cyflwyno seminarau, gweithdai a sesiynau preifat i ddatblygu hyder mewn techneg perfformio a chyfweld ar gyfer pobl o bob oedran a gallu. Mae'n fentor ac yn ddelfryd ymddwyn i entrepreneuriaid ifanc, yn ymgynghorydd creadigol ar gyfer cwmnïau teledu amrywiol ac yn rheolwr cyswllt ag enwogion. Mae'n syndod fod ganddo amser i fod gyda ni heddiw, gan ei fod ar ei daith gyda'i un dyn sioe ar hyn o bryd yn perfformio gyda'r cwmni theatr Neotopia mewn cynhyrchiad o Tuck. Ac mae newydd orffen yn feirniad ac yn fentor yn chwilio am y cynrychiolydd o Gymru i gymryd rhan yn Junior Eurovision 2019 ym Belarus. Mae Stephen yn cael ei anrhydeddu am ei wasanaethau i'r celfyddydau perfformio. Born and raised in the local village of Rhos Lannych Rhugog, entrepreneur, actor and entertainer Stephen Parry has over 35 years' experience in the creative industries. He works as a creative producer, presenter, consultant and mentor through the medium of both Welsh and English. He set up Mr Producer in 2001 and has produced some of Wales's most prominent live events, such as the opening weekend of the Wales Millennium Centre for BBC Wales, the Welcome to Wales Ryder Cup opening concert at the Millennium Stadium for Sky One and Sky Arts, and the 50th anniversary gala of the Aberfan disaster at the Wales Millennium Centre starring Michael Sheen, Bryn Terfel and Sian Phillips. As an actor, he has starred as Marius in Les Miserables in London's West End, as well as TV roles notably as Christopher Duncan in Channel 4's Brookside. Stephen appeared in the headlines and on the 9 o'clock news when his Brookside character, Christopher Duncan, was part of the first gay kiss to be broadcast on British television. His work in support of the LGBT community has previously earned him a spot on the Pink List as one of the most influential LGBT people in Wales. He is also a game show presenter and a chat show host, and master of ceremonies for corporate events, concerts and conferences. Stephen also delivers seminars, workshops and private sessions to develop confidence in performance and interview technique to all ages and abilities. He is a mentor and role model for young entrepreneurs, a creative consultant for various TV companies, and a celebrity liaison manager. It's a wonder he's been able to find the time to be here with us today, as he is currently touring his one-man show, performing with theatre company Neotopia in the production of Tuck, and he has just finished being a judge and mentor searching for the Welsh representative to take part in the Junior Eurovision 2019 in Belarus. Stephen is being honoured for his services to the performing arts. Ganghellor, cyflwynaf i chi Stephen Parry i'w anrhydeddu yn gymrawd o Brifysgol Glyndwr. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you Stephen Parry for the sake of honour, Fellow of Glyndwr University.
can't believe I've just been asked, would I like to speak, because that's all I do. Diolch o galon, diolch Mark. Mae'n fwy nag anrhydedd I fod yma. This is probably the most surreal day of my life and the closest I'll ever get to becoming an academic. My mother's never been shocked by any of the phone calls I've given her over the years telling her I'm doing this, that and the other. But she was absolutely shocked to death when I told her I was going to be wearing these today. So was my brother. My brother worked very hard for his degree, and here I am being handed one today, which is quite bonkers. But I'm very, very grateful. Who'd have thought 40 years ago I was singing Under the Moon of Love here in a pair of yellow and red culottes and sang it as good as Show Wadi Wadi, I hope, in a musical with Ysgol Morgan Llwyd, the Welsh school in Wrexham, which was a brilliant experience for me because that school and my former schools in Rhos allowed me to be me. My mother and my father always allowed me to be me. I was never pushed or encouraged to do anything I didn't want to do, and I was never asked to not follow my heart. I won't say follow my dreams, because I think dreams are things that happen totally out of our control when we're asleep, and I don't believe in following anything like that, but I do believe in following your heart and following your head. My first day at school at the age of 3, I said to Miss Brenda Jones, the headmistress at Ysgol Babanod yr Rhos, please miss, can I organise a play on Friday? And like any teacher who is a real teacher, she said yes and allowed that to happen, and the poor students in my class had to be in the audience clapping, of course. I give myself the lead role and my best friends were playing smaller parts. Why not? And at the end of that performance of a play I wrote called Ysbryd Bryn y Brain, which I can promise you'll never hear of that play again. I'd never been to a play or seen a play, so God knows what it was like. However, I remember that applause. And it was that day, I think, that I realized that I had to be an entertainer, and that I also realized that nobody was going to stop me. And if there's any message that I would like to give you students today who have worked so hard for what you've achieved today, you've got to go with your heart, and you've got to find what really makes you tick. Because I get up every day and I'm never, ever worried or have that awful Sunday night feeling of, oh, it's Monday tomorrow, because I'm here today being honoured for taking part in my hobby for all of my life. And the fact that I'm being honoured for this when I've already been paid and had the applause is doubly bonkers to me. Ysgol Morgan Llwyd, I then did a show every Friday, right through my school, right up until I was 18. I think the only times I didn't do a production was when I was ill, or it was the school holidays when I was busy trying to win every competition in the Eisteddfod, of which I did now and again, which I'm very, very grateful for also. But if there's any tips I can give as a non-academic that's going to help you guys today, because you are the real achievers in the room, there are a few things that are tricks of the trade, things that I've picked up or things that I've sorted for myself. I was, at the age of 8, I was bullied by a teacher in school. Actually, there's only one teacher. There's only ever been a negative to me, and this teacher was it. Bizarrely, I can't remember her name. When I go around schools and colleges being a mentor, I tell the children I've rechristened the teacher Miss Bitch. What goes around comes around, eh? All she did was compare me with my eldest brother, Anthony, who's here today. And every day I had, why aren't you as good as your brother? Why didn't you get the marks your brother had? Anthony wouldn't behave like that. Why are you not more like him? And this lady made me feel this big in front of my friends every day. And looking back, I think I dealt with it absolutely brilliantly. I went home and I made a massive badge. It was white, it was circular, and it was carved passionately in red biro, and it said in Welsh, my name is Stephen, and not Anthony. And Miss Bitch backed off. And in all the business experiences I've had since then, I've always remembered that moment, because I don't think I was being rude. She was the rude one. There was no way I was going to be able to compare to my brother. My brother was a true academic. I had to find my own light. And I'd actually like to dedicate this today to Miss Bitch, because she actually helped me crystallize that I was good enough, that as long as I was the best version of me, I didn't have to compete with anybody else in the whole world. And if she's here today, I'd like to say, diolch o waelod calon, Miss Bitch. There's another gentleman I'd also like to thank, and that was the person who ran the Amateur Dramatic Society in my village, Glyndwr Horse. They did musicals, and I never forget running to my mother's fish and chip shop, hearing that this Amateur Dramatic Society were rehearsing every Tuesday and Thursday in the Cross Foxes, the pub on the corner of our street. So at the age of 7 or 8, I felt I was living in Broadway, because I was doing a production every Friday up the road in school, and now there was musicals on the corner. And I used to sit in the chair facing the cast, where all my mother's customers would turn into musical stars in front of my eyes, and they would do 2 musicals a year, of which I used to learn every word of every song of every character of every musical, and I knew everything off by heart, and I used to prompt all the productions from the wings of the Stute in Horse. And that the producer didn't like me for many reasons. One, because I was actually sitting in his seat, and it took me years to realize that. However, he was also a little bit like the teacher I've mentioned. I won't tell you what name I've given him. It sounds a bit like bar steward. And he never, ever, ever gave me an audition for any of the musicals at all. And one day I remember I nearly wet myself with excitement when I heard they were doing Oliver. And I thought, yes, there are thousands of children in Oliver. I'm bound to be in this. He auditioned the whole village and gave a part to everyone bar me. Don't say all. How did I deal with it? I got the lead in Les Miserables in the West End, thank you very much. And I'm not saying that to be big-headed. Please don't. I'm not saying that to be big-headed. I'm saying that because there are people in life that will come like a brick wall and stop you following your heart and your as we call in Welsh, greddf, which I think absolutely sounds exactly as it does. My urge, my instinct to do what I wanted to do and be me was being stopped by these 2 people. And I could have crawled into my shell and maybe done nothing with my life. However, they really helped me, and they actually turned it up a notch. So I went into another gear. And in business, I've had this a lot of times when people have said, oh, you don't want to be seen to be doing that. Oh, you shouldn't do that. That's not the usual way to do this. I've never taken the usual way to do anything at all. And I don't owe anybody money. I've never been to jail. And nobody's going to be suing me, apart from Miss Bitch, of course. So if there's any message for you guys today, yes, it's the end of your studies, but it's the beginning of you being able to make yourselves happy And there is so much problems around now where people are not happy. You're not happy with yourselves. You don't feel successful. If you can be the best version of you and follow your heart, nobody else's, do not be compared with anybody else, never take no for an answer, you can do absolutely anything at all. I haven't acted for over a quarter of a century. I haven't sung publicly for a quarter of a century. This month has been the most ridiculous month. Not only am I sitting here in standing, I should say, in a cap and gown, but I've also taken part, I'm acting and singing in a show in the Wales Millennium Centre. I'm actually playing a drag queen. The only other woman I've ever dressed up as is Minnie Mouse. I haven't worn high heels until a week last Saturday, and I've just had some lovely reviews for that. So I am living proof to myself that you can do anything at all. There is no one stopping you from doing anything at all. I'm not an academic. I haven't got the simplest qualification in maths. I've never done a management course. I've never done an hours management. And I've run an events company and opened the Wales Millennium Centre. There were people who were far more qualified than me to open that Millennium Centre, but nobody was as keen. I was practically on the tarmac waiting for the chief executive who was flying in from Australia, who was coming to do that job. I knew the plane she was coming on. I knew where she was working. I made sure my business cards were on her desk. I made sure that the people who were working with her knew who I was, and I happened to meet her at a party and introduced myself, and the next minute I was the creative producer for that. You can do anything at all. I am living proof of that. I'm just so glad I never wanted to go to the moon, because I'd have done that and probably never come back. Miss Bitch would have been really pleased with that, and I wouldn't have mentioned it today. But all I can say, o waelod calon ydi, diolch yn fawr iawn, pob lwc I bob un ohonoch chi, congratulations, you really deserve this. This is just a fluke that I'm getting this today, but if I can sing Under the Moon of Love here and now get one of these, just think what you can do. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Wel, mae nawr yn rhoi pleser I mi alw ar Julie Brake I gyflwyno Hywel Wyn Edwards am gymrodoriaeth anrhydeddus. It now gives me pleasure to call upon Julie Brake to present Hywel Wyn Edwards for an honorary fellowship.
Wedi eni a'i fagu yn ardal Aberystwyth, a dilyn cyfnodau yn ysgol Rhyd y Pennau, ysgol Ramadeg Ardwyn, a thair blynedd yn y Coleg ym Mangor. Penodwyd Hywel i'w swydd gyntaf fel athro I Ysgol Gymraeg Lan yr Afon yr Wyddgrug ym 1968. Wrth I nifer y blant gynyddu o ryw 100 I dros 440, newidiodd ei statws o fewn yr ysgol, gan orffen I wasanaeth yno yn 1993 fel dirprwy prifathro. Yna, fe apwyntiwyd yn drefnydd gan Eisteddfod Genedlaethol Cymru I ofalu ar y cychwyn am eisteddfodau'r gogledd, ond yn fuan cymerodd y cyfrifoldeb o fod yn drefnydd dros y de yn ogystal. Ymddeolodd yn niwedd 2013, ond mae wedi cadw ei hir gysylltiad ar Eisteddfod Genedlaethol, gan iddo gael ei ethol yn swyddog cysylltiadau Celtaidd, Gorsedd y Beirdd. Mae hefyd yn gwirfoddolion flynyddol yn Eisteddfod yr Urdd a'r Oelgedd Dant. Mae'n hoff o deithio, a'i chelgais wedi ymddeol, oedd teithio I rwle bob mis, a hyd yma mae wedi llwyddo yn rhyfeddol, gan nad yw adref lawer yn ei gatre yn sychdyn ger Wyddgrug. Mae'r iaith Gymraeg a'r y diwylliant Cymreig
ac addysg yn bwysig iawn iddo, a chred fod yn rhaid cerdded yr ail filltir mwyn cyflawni gwaith hyd eith eich gallu, gan wneud hynny yn ofalus, yn drefnus, a chan ddangos parch tuag at eraill. Wrth dwrch eich llewis eich hun ac arwain y ffordd, haws yw cael eraill i ddilyn ac yn wrthoio. Mae Hywel yn cael ei anrhydeddu am ei wasanaethau i'r Gymraeg a'i diwylliant. Howell was born and bred in the Aberystwyth area. After attending the local primary school at Rhyd y Pennau and then Ardwyn Grammar School, he spent 3 years in college at Bangor. In 1968, he was appointed a teacher at Ysgol Glan yr Afon in Mold, one of the first ever Welsh medium primary schools in Wales. As the number of children increased from around 100 to over 440, his status within the school changed, and by 1993, when he left the Education Service, he was deputy head teacher. He was appointed the North Wales organiser of the Royal National Eisteddfod of Wales, but in no time at all was also responsible for the South Wales Eisteddfod, a post from which he retired at the end of 2013. However, he still volunteers at the National Eisteddfod, having lately been elected the Celtic officer for the Gorsedd of Bards of the Isle of Britain. He also regularly assists at the Urdd National Eisteddfod and the Cerdd Dant annual festival. He is an avid traveller and made a promise to himself on retirement that he would try to travel somewhere every month, meaning that he is not often at home in the village of Sychdin near Mold. The Welsh language, the Welsh culture and education are very important to him, and he firmly believes in going the extra mile to ensure success in all things, doing so thoroughly, meticulously, and with reverence to others. By doing all the little things oneself and leading by example, others are prepared to follow and assist. Hywel has been honoured for his services to the Welsh language and culture. Is-ganghellor, cyflwynaf I chi, Hywel Wyn Edwards, yw anrhydeddu yn Gymrawd o Brifysgol Glyndwr. Vice-Chancellor, I present you Hywel Wyn Edwards for the sake of honour, Fellow of Glyndwr University.
Is-ganghellor, Vice-Chancellor of Prifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam, Cadeirydd y Bwrdd Llywodraethwyr, Chair of the Board of Governors, staff, graddedigion a chyfeillion, staff, graduates and friends. Panderbyniais y llythyr yn fy ngwahodd I dderbyn cymrawd anrhydedd o Brifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam dro yn ôl, roedd gen I deimladau cymysg iawn a'r pennaf mae'n debyg oedd cwestiwn pam fi. Wedi cael amser I ystyried, penderfynais ei bod yn ddyletswydd ac yn rheidrwydd arnaf I dderbyn y gwahoddiad, ac felly hoffwn nodi fy niolchgarwch i'r Brifysgol am yr anrhydedd arbennig hon, sydd yn gwbl annisgwyl. Pam derbyn tybed? Wel, teimlo'r oeddwn mae nid cymaint anrhydedd bersonol I mi oedd hon, ond hefyd i'r hyn a wnes I yn ystod fy ngyrfa, yn gyntaf oll yn y byd addysg, a hynny y maes addysg trwy gyfrwng yr iaith Gymraeg am chwarter canrif, Ac yna, mae'r un maint o gyfnod fel trefnydd Eisteddfod Genedlaethol Cymru, un o sefydliadau mawr a phwysicaf ein cenedl. On receiving the invitation to become a fellow of the university, I had mixed feelings, and the question that arose was, why me? However, it did not take long for me to respond positively, as I felt it was an honor not just for me, but also for what I have tried to do over the last 50 or so years. I believed it was to recognize the fact that I was involved in Welsh medium education as a teacher for half that time, and then during the remaining years as organizer of one of Wales's most prestigious institutions, the National Eisteddfod of Wales. I wish to convey my appreciation and thanks to the university for bestowing on me this very unexpected honour. Hoffwn lan gyfer pawb sydd yma heddiw unai yn derbyn cymrodoriaeth neu yn llawer pwysicach efallai yn derbyn gradd. Nid ar chwarae bach y mae person yn mynd ati i dreulio amser yn astudio mewn prifysgol yn y dyddiau arbennig yma, gan ddod allan gyda gradd. Da iawn bawb ohonoch chi, sydd nawr yn cychwyn ar benod newydd yn eich hanes gan ddechrau o bosib mewn galwedigaeth ac hefyd sefyll ar eich traed eich hunain. Hoffwn gymryd y cyfle hwn i'ch annog i wneud rhai pethau wrth i chi ddilyn eich llwybrau personol. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate everyone who is here today, either receiving fellowship or a degree, and especially so, the latter. It is not easy these days, especially in monetary terms, to enter any university to study and come out at the end with a degree. But I applaud you all as you now embark on your further quest on life's journey, hopefully in good employment. Drwy fy mywyd gweithiol, dwi wedi ceisio gwneud a chofio nifer o bethau. Fel y dywedodd ei nawsant Dewi, gwnewch y pethau bychain gan gychwyn wrth eich traed. Wrth wneud hynny, mi ddaw y pethau mawr yn rhwydd. Hefyd, ceisiwch fynd ati i gerdded yr ail filltir bob tro, heb fod neb yn pwyso arnach i wneud hynny, gan gwneud eich gorau ar bob achlysur. Dyna ddwy egwyddor y credau I ei bod yn holl bwysig, nid yn unig I bobl ifanc fel chi, ond gallent fod yn egwyddorion I bawb yn ein cymdeithas. I am sure that you have been given a lot of advice already, and that is not really my intention. However, I would ask you to remember one or two things. Whatever you do, start at your feet and do the little things. And in doing so, the larger things will come to fruit. That was said a long time ago by our patron saint, David. The other is to try and walk the second mile without anyone asking you to do so, and that will keep you in good stead. I certainly found that true during my working years, and in doing so, others were more ready to help and work with and for you. Those could be principles not just for you, but for others in the wider community and society as a whole. Cyn gorffen, hoffwn ychwanegu ymadrodd o China a glywai sawl blwyddyn yn ôl. Yr hyn a glywaf, anghofiaf. Yr hyn a welaf, mi gofiaf. Yr hyn a wnaf, mi ddeallaf. There's an old Chinese saying, what I hear, I forget. What I see, I remember. What I do, I understand. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you.
Bydded hysbys i aelodau'r Brifysgol ac i bawb sydd yn bresennol fod y Brifysgol wedi rhoddi'r awdurdod i'r athro Maria Hinfela i dderbyn i'w graddau fyfyrwyr Prifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam a enillodd raddau yn unol â rheolau'r Brifysgol. Gwelir enwau'r rhai y gellir ei derbyn i'w graddau yn y cynulliad hwn yn y rhestr printiedig sydd wedi ei ddosbarthu heddiw. Let it be known to members of the university and to all who are present that the university has granted authority to Professor Maria Hinfela to admit to their degrees students of Wrexham Glyndwr University who have qualified for degrees according to the regulations of the university. The names of those who may be admitted to their degrees in this congregation are to be seen on the printed lists that have been distributed. Anrhydeddus Isganghellor. Cyflwynaf i chi y myfyrwyr hyn o Brifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam i'w graddau, diplomau a'i tystysgrifau priodol. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present you these students from Wrexham Glyndwr University to their respective certificates, diplomas and degrees. Tystysgrif mewn addysg. Certificate in Education.
Kerry Noble.
Tystysgrif mewn addysg PSET. Certificate in Education PSET.
Ellen Davis, Vanessa Gladman, Paul Hines.
Tystysgrif graddedig broffesiynol mewn addysg. Professional Graduate Certificate in Education.
Carol Rees.
Tystysgrif broffesiynol mewn addysg i raddedigion PSET. Professional Graduate Certificate in Education, PSET.
Robert Barlow, Jacqueline Bishop, Charlotte Brown. Amy Campbell, Kelsey Davis, Claire Denovan, Alice Edgerly. Chloe Gibb, Brian Groves, Lucy Humphries, Caris Eyeball. Victoria Johnston, Kira Jones, Rebecca Jones. Julia King, Lisa Kozira. Harjinder Mackenzie, Jack Mittle, Oliver Morris, Shannon Owen Ewens.
Enillydd y Wobr Geltaidd, winner of the Celtic Prize.
Donna Palmer.
Parhau gyda'r gwobrau tystysgrif addysg broffesiynol i raddedigion PSET, continuing with the Professional Graduate Certificate in Education PSET Awards.
Stephanie Prescott, Rachel Roberts, Lisa Taylor, Carolyn Thelwell. Lucinda Turner, Emma Ulitaglio James.
Gradd sylfaen yn y celfyddydau. Foundation degree in arts.
Jenny Allen, Victoria Chimes, Leanna Pearson, Susan Riley. Sarah Rudge, Joanne Smith, Anita Weir, Alia Amin. Lisa Beerman, Kelly Jones Canning. Vicky Boyle, Stephanie Cadwalla de Maddox, Charlotte Robertson.
Baglor yn y Celfyddydau. Bachelor of Arts.
Judith Hughes.
Cyn i'r is-ganghellor, anerch y cynulliad. Fe gawn yn awr berfformiad cerddorol byr gan ensemble pres graddio Prifysgol Glyndwr, sydd yn gysylltiedig â cerddorfa symffoni Wrecsam. Mae Glyndwr yn gartref swyddogol i'r gerddorfa. Before the Vice-Chancellor's address, we will now have a short musical performance from the Glyndwr University Graduation Brass Ensemble, who are affiliated to the Wrexham Symphony Orchestra, the orchestra in residence here in the William Aston Hall. Hoffwn yn awr, wahodd yr is-ganghellor i roi ei hanherchiad. I would now like to invite the Vice-Chancellor to give her address.
Chair, graduating students, parents, spouses, friends, colleagues, honoured guests, fellows, members of the Board of Governors, ladies and gentlemen. Bore da. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you most warmly to today's award ceremony at Wrexham Glyndwr University, on what is a very special day for everyone assembled here today. Whether you're here in person or watching the live stream, the cameras and the spotlight will be focusing on our graduating students, and you will be beamed across the World Wide Web. You are the stars of the show, and you all look fantastic. Bendigedig, as they say in Welsh. In fact, you can watch the whole show again afterwards on YouTube, if you wish. Gaining a university degree is one of the highest personal achievements, a test of stamina, commitment, intellectual rigour and ability. And you should be proud of how far you've come. You've worked hard and you've embraced the opportunity of a university education. On behalf of all the staff and governors at the university, I'd like to say congratulations, Glyndwr, and well done. I'm delighted at the chance to address you, to shake your hand and to meet you informally afterwards. Obtaining a degree is not easy. It's not supposed to be. It takes dedication and application. There's definitely no luck entering into it, but it's worth it. Unlike many other commodities, a qualification retains its value for a lifetime. As you might know, you are part of a historical milestone for us, because this year we celebrate our 10th anniversary since gaining university status. This surely makes you, the 2018 graduating cohort, a vintage year. I've worked in education in various parts of Europe, including the UK, for my entire career, and I've always found it incredibly rewarding to see my graduates do well. That's why I think education is among the best sectors to work in. At Wrexham Glyndwr University, we often ask our students what their expectations are and what they hope to do when they graduate. And we also invite alumni to stay in touch and tell us how they're getting on. I'm now going to give you a few marvellous examples from across the university, which we've captured on some of our website pages, with the permission of the individuals concerned, of course. In fact, you might recognise some of the stories. So here goes. First, a snapshot of how our current students have answered one question we asked them: what do you hope to do when you graduate? Adam said, I'm hoping to get more experience within the hospitality industry before starting my own business and put my skills and knowledge into action. Claire told us, when I leave the university, I'd like to work in a private clinic, specialising in the treatment of athletes. David said, I want to continue to develop my career and knowledge as an electrical engineer within my company in Wrexham. From Elizabeth we heard, I would like to continue writing stories and poetry. My main ambition is to have a book published. Katie said, my dream job, having studied criminology, would be to work for the police as a civil investigator. Jose told us, being part of a team that designs inventions that fly through the sky or invent a satellite to navigate the universe would be a dream. Shauna shared with us, I would like to set up my own education centre or a farm for children and adults to help improve awareness or animal welfare. Matthew said, when I graduate, I hope to work in A&E or on a cardiology ward. Leanne, my ambition is to apply my studies to Formula One motor racing. Continuing on the theme of sport, Alex said, I want to be a performance analyst and to have my own business providing strength and conditioning support to football and rugby players. There is evidence that students may change their minds as they go through their studies. For instance, Emma, who said, before coming to Wrexham Glyndwr University, I thought I wanted to work in video, but the past few months have made me want to work in PR and marketing instead. And often, our mature students want to equip themselves with a degree to progress at their current workplace, as my final two examples will show. Nathan stated he wants to continue working at Tata Steel and become a chartered engineer, and Rachel wants to continue as a practicing ceramicist with a more skilled approach to her work selling and exhibiting through galleries and shows. You can glean from those examples what incredible richness and diversity we have at the university across so many different subject areas. But then, of course, you'll be asking yourself, what will become of those marvelous plans and ambitions which our students have shared with us? Are they realistic? As we know, best laid plans and intentions and all that, they don't always come to fruition. Well, actually, for many of our graduates, their ambitions do get fulfilled. Like other universities, we gather the data, and we know that practically all our students go on to find employment or go into further study. We also know that more than 2/3 stay in the region to work, so they contribute to the local economy and the community. But what is especially interesting is to hear a little more about the stories behind those statistics. And again, I'd like to give you a cross-section of these stories. So here goes. Elliot graduated in 2016 with a degree in consumer psychology and marketing. He's now a research scientist with the company Dyson, helping to improve product designs through working with consumer panels. Alice graduated in 2013, now successfully runs her own business called Giggles and Games. Darren did our part-time executive MBA in 2015. He is now a financial controller with Hoyer Lens UK. Mandy completed her graphic design course with us in 1991 and says, I've had a varied and interesting career working for graphics agencies and local government. Simon did the BA in illustrations in the early 2000s and is another one who set up his own business, creating beautiful wooden sculptures with a chainsaw. Lawrence did a business degree followed by a PGC and is now a business lecturer at Colla Cambria. Caitlin completed equine science in 2015 and reports, I have my own business called Equinology, which provides a training service to owners of horses with behavioral problems. Richard graduated with a BSc in Occupational Health and Safety about 10 years ago, and he is now a senior health and safety manager, taking responsibility for Formula E driving championships in cities across the globe. Lee got his degree in 2014, and he is a qualified occupational therapist in a mental health setting. Liam, like many others, completed 2 qualifications with us, a BSc in computing and an MBA. He says, I am the managing director of a company that turns over £20 million each year and offers ICT solutions to several flagship companies, including Barclays Bank. Devon did a BEng in aeronautical engineering, and she is now project leader on the A380 program team at Airbus. Mahdi completed a PhD in computing and was then appointed assistant professor at AMA International University in Bahrain. And finally, there is the example of Rhys, who did his BEng in 1996 and became a senior executive with Crossrail, delivering a multi-billion-pound new railway system for London and the South East. He became an honorary fellow of the university last year. Isn't it wonderful to hear so many inspiring examples? I'm sure you would agree that where many of our graduates have ended up in life and in their later careers is every bit as exciting as the hopes and aspirations of some of our current students, which we heard about earlier. This proves that no ambition is set too high, and you should never underestimate what you're capable of. As Colin Jackson, another honorary fellow of the university and a very good friend, put it in 2016 when he accepted his fellowship, Dare to Dream. As we celebrate your achievements today, it's important that we remember those who made your success possible. This includes, of course, your friends here at the university who enjoyed your company. It also includes the academic staff, the technicians, professional services staff, who've helped and supported you throughout your time here. Equally, our thanks include the Students' Union, who looked after your interests here and gently persuaded many of you to become course reps, bringing the student voice to every level of the university. It's also important for us to remember those who helped to get you here in the first place, teachers at your schools perhaps, your employers who supported you financially or time-wise, and of course, first and foremost, those on the home front. No matter how much individual talent you have, very few people can thrive unless they have a supportive environment around them. People will let you get on with your studies, who shoulder some of your responsibilities, and will lend a listening ear when you needed one. Those people deserve your thanks today, as you could not have managed without them. So on your behalf, I would like to thank them all. So let's see how much you've appreciated them. Could I ask all our graduates to please stand up? And could you turn round, face the home front, and show them your appreciation, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. That was really heartfelt. Finally, I do hope you will look back on your time here with great affection as a rewarding experience and a very enjoyable experience. Armed with a qualification, you will now leave us with the ability to grasp your future positively for yourselves, your family and friends, your colleagues in the workplace, and for your communities. You will be able to contribute actively to society, much in the same way that we as a university take our responsibility towards our students and towards the community very seriously. I wish you every success in your future career. I look forward to hearing your stories sometime, because as I said at the beginning, there's nothing more rewarding than discovering what impact a university education can have on people. And who knows, I may be able to tell your story at a graduation ceremony one day. Today, though, is about enjoying the moment. Have a lovely celebration later on. You deserve it. And for the future, I wish you pob lwc, iechyd a hapus roed dda, good luck, good health, and happiness. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you.
Anrhydeddus Is-Ganghellor. Cyflwynaf i chi y myfyrwyr hyn o Brifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam i'w graddau, diplomau a'i tystysgrifau priodol. Honourable Vice-Chancellor, I present to you these students from Wrexham Glyndwr University to their respective certificates, diplomas and degrees. Bachelor yn y celfyddydau, Anrhydedd. Bachelor of Arts, Honours.
Samuel Barton, Thomas Evans, Amy Jones, Ophelia Lawson. Sophie Lewis, Matthew Poynton, Daisy Price, Matthew Simmons. Kyle Sutherland, Sean Bateman, Billy Joe Davis, Charlotte Davis. Hannah Evans, Victoria Evans, Lucy Felton, Karen Garlick. Rosemary Jones, Danielle McCartney, Karina Nash, Pamela Nichols. Una O'Donoghue, Louise Roberts, Rachel Roberts, Helena Slay. Nicola Wright, Kaylin Dayton, Rachel Edwards, Danielle Francis. Alison Gilmore, Rebecca Goodwin, Chelsea Roberts, Emma Roberts. Ian Thomas, Louise Watkins, Martin Disley, Michaela Anders. Aled Dodd, Anya Evans, Sian Hood, Beth Ann Hughes. Natasha Hughes, Alice Jones, Megan Jones, Misha Kilty. Naomi Lewis, Amy Nurse.
Enillydd gwobr Karen Southern, winner of the Karen Southern Prize.
Timothy Parsonage.
Parhau gyda'r gwobrau Bachelor yn y celfyddydau anrhydedd, continuing with the Bachelor of Arts Honours Awards.
Sophia Randall, Leah Reid, Holly Roberts, Courtney Say. Michelle Suckley, Graham Wood, Benjamin Woodvine-Jones, Muna Abdi. Shannon Briggs, Elsie Jones, Emma Jones, Tracy Jones. Nadine Pearce, Kerry Pritchard, Angela Rees, Sarah Worrell. Nicola Lloyd, Angelina Rossetti, Timothy Wilkins, Eleanor Ansell. Emily Edwards, Richard Hagan, Christopher Roberts, Deborah Sheen. Callie Ulitalo James, Anika Lloyd Bottomley, Claire Mays, Holly Meese. Joanne Barlow, Sharon Brown, Stephanie Bergin, Shelley Clegg. Leanne Cormack, Curtis Fisher, Sadie Fisher, Sophie Harvey. Michelle Hayes, Abigail Hughes, Deborah Hunt, Amy Jones. Carrie-Ann Jones, Kim Jones, Lisa Jones, Rebecca Jones. Sophie Jones, Susan Keithley, Sean Malt, Chloe Phillips. Donna Preston, Hayley Roberts, Michelle Robinson. Penny Rutter, Cher Slawson, Gwenllian Thomas.
Dymuna'r garfan ganlynol o fyfyrwyr sy'n graddio gyda Bachelor yn y celfyddydau anrhydedd hanes. Gofio ei cydfyfyriwr, Kelly Roberts, a cyflwynwyd ei gradd iddi y llynedd ar ôl ei marwolaeth. The following cohort of students graduating with a Bachelor of Arts Honours History wish to remember their fellow student, Kelly Roberts, who was awarded her degree posthumously last year.
Kim Blakely, Ryan Moss, Connor Pugh, James Sotheby, Anthony West.
Enillydd gwobr dyniaethau Prifysgol y Trydydd Oedran, winner of the University of the Third Age Humanities Prize,
Lucy Griffiths.
Parhau gyda'r dyfarniadau Bachelor yn y celfyddydau anrhydedd sydd yn weddill, continuing with the remaining Bachelor of Arts Honours Awards.
James Hamer, Lewis Barton, Damon Betts, Sarah Davis. Jonathan Hill, Mark Ryan Hughes, Donna Jordan, Caris Kennard. Alice Norton, Chelsea Pierce. Isabella Provenzano, Sean Ruan, Chloe Stubbs. Michael Teeson, Stuart Tong, William Veal.
Tystysgrif uwchraddedig, postgraduate certificate.
Gemma Jones, Angie Jones.
Tystysgrif addysg I raddedigion PSET, postgraduate certificate in education PSET.
Jane Plant, Donna Shepherd, Katie Taffinder.
Meistr yn y celfyddydau. Master of Arts.
Helene Ram, Joe Williams, Kimberly Moore, Diana Whittle. Helen Rock Humphreys, Meryl Armstrong, Lisa Matthews.
Doethir mewn addysg. Teitl y thesis, Gyrru ymlaen. Archwiliad o'r broses gymdeithasoli, yr ymgymerir athrawon dan hyfforddiant a hi yn ystod ei rhaglen addysg gychwynnol athrawon yng Nghymru. Doctor of Education. Thesis title, Forging Their Way, an exploration of the socialisation process undergone by trainee teachers during their initial teacher education programme in Wales.
Alison O'Sullivan.
I now come to the most formal part of the ceremony, which I promise you will be short and sweet, because I know it's been a very long session already. It's the point at which we confer the degrees or other awards on you and you become graduates. At some of the older universities in England, this will be done in Latin. At the newer English universities, it's done in English, and here we're going to do it in Welsh. So the orator, LMI, will ask me to confer the degrees and all their privileges on you, and she will then ask me to do the same for those who are not present here today and are getting their degrees in absentia. So may I therefore ask the graduates once again to stand and face me this time, please.
Anrhydeddus isganghellor. Cymeradwyaf I chi dderbyn y myfyrwyr hynny i'w gwobrau ac I holl freintiau'r graddau hyn.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddired dweud I mi, derbyniaf chwi i'ch gwobrau ac I holl freintiau'r gwobrau hyn.
Anrhydeddus isganghellor. Cymeradwyaf I chi dderbyn yn ei habsenoldeb y myfyrwyr hynny a enwyd yn rhannau priodol y rhaglen i'w gwobrau ac I holl freintiau'r graddau hyn.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiried dweud I mi, derbyniaf y rhai anodwyd yn ei habsenoldeb i'w gwobrau ac I holl freintiau'r gwobrau hyn. That's it. You have your degrees. Congratulations.
Diolch yn fawr, a newch chi gymryd sedd os gwelwch yn dda. If you could now take your seat. Thank you. O hoffwn yn awr ofyn I gadeirydd bwrdd y Llywodraethwyr I gair cynulliad y bore yma. I would now like to invite the Chair of the Board of Governors, Maxine Penlington, to close the congregations.
Ladies and gentlemen, hoffwn ychwanegu fy llongyfarchiadau personol i'r isgancello a'r brifysgol. I would like to add my personal congratulations to those of the Vice-Chancellor and of the University. The granting of an academic award brings with it privileges and responsibilities. Through your hard work and diligence, you have joined a distinguished society of scholars, and we are proud of you all. Yr wyf yn nawr yn cain ffurfiol gynulliadau Prifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam a Prifysgol Cymru. I formally close the congregation of Wrecsam Glyndwr University and the University of Wales.
A dyna diwedd ein seremoni am y bore yma. Cynhelir cynulliad nesaf Prifysgol Glyndwr Wrecsam y prynhawn yma. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this morning's graduation ceremony. The next congregation of Wrecsam Glyndwr University will be held this afternoon. Gai ofyn I chi gyd I sefyll ac aros ar eich traed, hyd nes i'r orymdaith, gan gynnwys y graddedigion newydd adael yn eiad os gwelwch yn dda. May I ask you all to stand and remain standing until the procession, including the new graduates, have left the hall. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi. Thank you.